Ellen Morrow is part of our team covering things from Washington for us. We have not seen a response to the flip in Georgia yet from the president, but we certainly got very strong words from him in the briefing room of the White House last night that people are still talking about this morning, Ellen.
That's right, Heather, and with good reason. Donald Trump came into the White House briefing room last night, speaking behind a podium at the White House, using the trappings of his office to deliver a statement that was baseless and was not backed up by evidence. The President of the United States essentially alleging that there is a conspiracy to steal and rig the election so that he loses. Again, there's no evidence to back up that claim, and his statement was so riddled with things that were not accurate, not backed up by fact, that most of the major U.S. networks actually turned away from the president's address, which is a remarkable situation to happen when the country is in a difficult moment. Normally, you turn to the president for reassurance. Now, we're going to play you, now that we've set up that these are false claims from Donald Trump, here's a bit more of what he had to say.
If you count the legal votes, I easily win. If you count the illegal votes, they can try to steal the election from us. If you count the votes that came in late, we're looking at them very strongly, but a lot of votes came in late. This is a case where they're trying to steal an election. They're trying to rig an election, and we can't let that happen.
Now, again, Heather, those are baseless claims from Donald Trump. These aren't illegal, late-arriving ballots that are being counted by the states. The states say they are counting mail-in ballots. They say they are still counting those mail-in ballots that arrived on or before Election Day itself. And we know, we've been discussing for days, that the mail-in ballots are more likely to have been cast by Democratic voters. So it is not surprising that now that these votes are being counted, we are seeing these shifts in favor of Joe Biden. The states also said before the election that it was going to take them a long time to count this record number of mail-in ballots driven by the pandemic. So we knew there was a very good possibility that we could wait days for results in this election, which is indeed what's happening. So this isn't a sign that there is widespread voter fraud in this election. Donald Trump appears to be confusing leading at one point in a race versus winning the race overall. This isn't particularly surprising because for months at this point, Donald Trump has been trying to cast doubt on the integrity of the election without any evidence, but it is still stunning to hear the President of the United States make baseless claims from the White House as the country waits for results in this very tense moment.
Quite right, that he has been telegraphing this would be his response for some time. Now we look to the future, and where do you think he's going to take all of this next, Ellen?
Well, it's very clear that Donald Trump is going to pursue more legal action in regards to the election. Over the last 2 days, we've seen Trump surrogates, Trump family members travel across the country and launch legal suits in several of these states, two of which have since been dismissed by judges. But Donald Trump saying there's going to pursue further action. We can show you a tweet that he posted in the early hours of this morning, one of several tweets in the last few days that have been labeled as misleading by Twitter. You can see it there again, saying, "I easily win. Observers were not allowed in. The U.S. Supreme Court should decide." Now, no one has, in fact, won the presidency yet. There are key states still counting ballots, states that Donald Trump says he won when he hasn't won. No one has won. Observers were allowed in vote counting stations, and the U.S. Supreme Court should decide. That telegraphs that we're going to keep seeing. I mean, it doesn't just telegraph it. It says we're going to keep seeing the Trump team pursue legal action. The question is, how far can this go when there doesn't seem to be evidence to back up the president's claims? But he said before the election itself that he thought the results were going to eventually wind their way to the Supreme Court. That was the argument he made when he talked about wanting to confirm Amy Coney Barrett before the election itself to fill Ruth Bader Ginsburg's seat. Another question, Heather, as we go throughout the day is what we hear from Republican leaders. We've heard several Republicans come out and and criticized the president's language, saying this isn't fraud, this is legitimate votes being counted. But a lot of those Republicans are people who are no longer in office and who are no longer running for office or re-election. It'll be interesting to see if we get any comments repudiating the president making these baseless claims from people like Mitch McConnell, the Senate Majority Leader.
Yes, nothing to strongly denounce yet. We will watch for further reaction. Ellen, thank you very much.